Hey everyone, I'm on Times Square here for the Pause for Peace event, and I was at the CEO Summit yesterday for the United Nations, where I actually told everyone that was there. They gave me the keynote speaking position. I was the only one that got to speak without having to be on a panel, and I got to tell everyone I thought that the world was ready to move beyond the need for overlords in government. I thought it would be very controversial. I said something similar last year, but they invited me back to be keynote this year. It was kind of funny. I never expected that. But I also got invited to be one of the hosts today on the stage behind me for Unify, and very excited about this. And we're also going to be announcing a partnership between Orion Messenger, which is our app for free speech and free thought, and sovereign communities and sovereign individuals. And I'll be talking about that a little bit on the stage. And we've got quite a lineup here. It's quite a group of great musicians and artists and others who come together. They've done this, I think this is the 21st year that they've done this. And it's this Pause for Peace event, so that it kind of leads a bit of a global meditation effort. And I'm excited and honored to have been invited to be on this stage. And it's great to be here. I have to say, New York City right now is packed because of the United Nations meeting. There's security people everywhere. It's quite an experience, but it's also quite exciting. I do like to visit New York. I don't know that I could ever live here, but I definitely love coming to visit, and the weather here is beautiful today. I think one of the things I wanted to talk about as well is, what's happening. I don't know if you guys saw today that there was an announcement from Twitter that they're actually going to be charging everybody on Twitter, not just people that buy blue ticks, but everyone. And I think that's going to actually be a catalyst for probably Instagram doing the same thing. As soon as Elon Musk announced that he was going to do that for the blue ticks, I think it was only a couple weeks later that Zuckerberg came out and announced the same on Instagram. And I think, the most difficult part of that is that not only are they mining the data, but because you've got these companies that are always going to be driven for higher profits, they're always going to be looking for higher ways, and better ways to get greater revenue and greater efficiency. And so now, not only do we have to basically have our data scraped, which is already very valuable, but secondly, it's now going to be also a subscription model, which is pretty amazing. But I do think people are starting to realize that if you're not paying for social media, then you're the product, and that's kind of the model that it's been. And probably time for us all to kind of wake up to a bit of a new paradigm. I'm excited about where the world is right now on many levels, because I do believe that there's silver lining in all of this, and I do believe that change is necessary, and that everything that's happening in the world is happening for a reason. I predict, and I said this yesterday at this conference, that there's going to be dramatic change in 2024, like dramatic change. And I don't think it's going to be limited to one country. I think it's going to be every country around the world is going to see very significant change. There's going to be massive upheavals. And the massive upheavals are going to be around the systems and infrastructure that we've relied on for so long, for the last, arguably 100+ years. And a lot of the models of that infrastructure and systemic sort of paradigms that we've been operating under are going to come under question. And the question is going to be, is this serving humanity anymore under this current model? And are there better ways? And I think you're going to see this around the globe. I, for one, believe that it's a necessary shift and change. And all I really hope for the most is that all of this change and paradigm shifting can come in peace. That it doesn't have to require, as we've seen so many times in history, that as we go through this dramatic shift, that there, is generally associated with it, some challenge and difficulty that causes greater human suffering for a period of time. That's always what happens when you have paradigm shifts and disruptive change. But I think that there is a way to do it, that humanity can lead as we make this decision to be sovereign individuals. I think throughout time we've gone from sovereign monarchs in the late 1800s, late 18th century, to sovereign republics, which is what the United States is in so many countries in the world, representative democracies. And then from sovereign republic into post-World War II era, it went to sovereign corporations. And that's where we are now. And I think it's time to move beyond sovereign corporations to more decentralized models that actually give power back to the individual. And I think the next shift is going to be about sovereign individuals. Sending all of you love and peace today on this Peace Day. And I hope you all have a wonderful week ahead of you and enjoy this beautiful weather. And such an important time for us to, obviously there's going to be more stuff too coming. I think I made a post yesterday about the mask wearing. I want to be clear on something. I don't mind if anyone wears masks. It's just don't ask me to wear a mask anymore. I'm over it. And that's all I'm talking about. I don't care that people wear masks. They can drive in their car by themselves and wear a mask for all I care. It's kind of funny because there's no evidence that backs up why we should wear masks driving our car by ourselves. But everyone has their own circumstances and it's their choice to make. I am all for people having their own individual right to do whatever it is that they think is right. Of course, that doesn't mean you can obfuscate or get outside of dealing with the consequences associated with making those individualized choices. Consequences must be paid. That's life. But the fact that you have the right to make that choice consciously without being blocked from making that choice is still your right. And I think, obviously, people have to pay and pay dearly for making choices. It also doesn't mean that free speech means that you can just go around and conduct yourself with hate speech, because that also is not the right thing. But you cannot block people from having the right to be able to say what they feel or think, all because we're concerned about offending somebody. Doesn't mean to say that that person that's offended can't take matters into their own hands and then go after those people and sue them, and the law provides for their rights to do so. And I think people should always pay consequences for their actions. But that they can actually do it without actually being blocked preemptively, like some dystopian film like Minority Report represented, is really kind of something that I don't want to have to grow up, have my children grow up in this type of a world. I don't think it's the right approach for humanity, and I think every time we repress something from doing it, it just builds up more and more anger, and then really that's when you have major travesties happen. And I'd really like to avoid that. So with that, I'm excited to be here in New York, sending love to all of you. Exercise your good wisdom and your good choices, and recognize that it's your right to live here and live on your own terms. And let's hear it for sovereign individuals. Thanks very much. Love to you all.